Feel comfortable, boo boo. Mm. Hello, everyone. My name is Letice. I do readings on here so that you can book readings with me down below. Do dream decipherings, plus ancestral readings. Um, Thank you, Spirit. Looks a little bit too. There we go. This is a silent reading. Okay. This is typically where I just kind of sit silence like I just did. If you don't know, if I get channel messages, I get channel messages. If I shuffle the cards, pull out cards, that's what we're working with. I don't know, I just heard buccal fat wouldn't remove the fat from your cheeks. I'm really getting my grandma's face with these, but I don't know, that's not what I wrote down unless I'm thinking and seeing. Like now I'm hearing frown lines, something to do with your face around your mouth, which makes sense with the reading that I wrote down. Some of the channel messages, it's like something around your face in this area. So I'm hearing like high demand. So you could be like a reporter, because somebody that shares news a lot or something that has to do with your mouth. You can be a speaker, teacher, singer. A lot of things have to do with your mouth. You can be a sex worker. Um, yeah, I'm hearing like bird calls, but it's like certain. It's something to do with this area, almost like where a mask would go. So it's not even like fully covering. It's almost like just covering your mouth energy. Typically, when I start any reading, I always like to make sure, I light your candle or an incense or something to signify to call in your energy if you feel so called to, and just bring up protection, love, blessings, healing, restoration, all the good things and then some. And I usually just, call on the ancestors, elemental forces, guides, angels of the highest light and energy and source of all good, and understanding. 'Cause sometimes, gotta go to the other side. But as I was like saying the prayers and things over you guys, that's why I feel called to do these channels versus just pulling the cards. Because for some reason, what was said was for the love of all good and evil. And now I'm hearing the Tim's verse, not by actually her, but I don't know who was talking in the songs. It's from her first album. No, I think it was her first album officially, because the other one was East Peas. First or second. And they were like, even the ones that are demoralized want and need to see the good in the world. And so that's what I'm hearing right now. And it's almost like just pulling it, and it reminds me of what I say to myself, to y'all, like even my enemies, even the demons, even the people that, go out the entities, they work in my favor because they know who I am. I'm in high regard, high esteem, and how I see myself. No matter what, not to fuck with me, because if you fuck with me, you fucking with them. And they don't want to fuck with them. They don't want to fuck with me. And so it feels like you're realizing, because I'm hearing even I got called evil, even I got called bad, even I got, or I'm hearing getting or got demonized for what I do, how I act, how I speak, how I move. So other people's evil might not even be my evil. Other people's good might not even be my good. And so you're realizing, and you've been having a lot of conversations with spirit, and I always tell y'all, you need to communicate with your spirit team in a way that y'all both understand each other. Some people do need more than just one sign, and that's okay. That's okay. Some people have to get signs in particular ways. They can get it through music, they can get it through channel, they can get it through dreams, they can just have somebody walk up to them and say something. And they're just like, yeah. But you've been realizing, I got to communicate with my spirit team in a way that they know how this is how I speak. So that way I'm not even overthinking with myself or with them. I say, example, especially you black, we all got our own ways of saying things. It reminds me of when somebody, a man, a black man got in trouble. He was like, man, I'm finna blow the bathroom up. And we always black people know what the fuck that means. Okay, clear the shit out. It's gonna be funky. But of course, don't know what that means. So when you're recognizing, even in the outside physical world where I'm speaking the same language as other people, they may not understand me. Why? When I not speak my language, it's weird. And I feel like you've been doing that because you're realizing my words have power. And I know what they mean, my intentions. So when you say, for the love of all good and evil, that can mean whatever it needs to mean for you. That's why when I say I put that on everything I love and then some, I'm talking about everything I love and that I don't love, everything I like I do, and then some. Because you're realizing the way that I'm speaking, the universe knows my frequency, knows my voice, knows my tone, knows my cadence, knows when I'm venting, knows when I'm complaining, knows when I'm releasing. Like they understand because we built that communication with each other. I don't need to feel like I need to go to them, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean this. And then we communicate. Some people like to be like told by their spirit team or higher selves or whatever, like, bitch, get the fuck up. Don't be acting dumb. And it doesn't diminish them or their self-worth. Some people need to not be spoken in that way. Feel like not in a way of like, you ain't gotta coddle me, but you ain't gotta. And that is where you're realizing. When I say things, I'm not second guessing them anymore of why I'm saying or what I'm saying or why I'm doing and what I'm doing. I don't need to do that anymore. So that's how I'm saying. It's like that's what they talking about. For the love of all good and evil, like baby. It looks like somebody that doesn't believe in any religion. You're like, you're going to hell. It's like, I don't believe in that. I have no faith in that. No energy, no attention, no span, no collaboration, no guidance, no exchange. Whatever you're 1, 2, 3, 4, no exchange, or whatever you think it is. So for the love of God, I don't know why I'm hearing how the day you deserve. Because if you do what you want to do, God, you the way of heart, I'm like, thank you. I will have the day I deserve. A lot to do with your throat, if you could not tell. Drink some water so you can speak clearly and thoroughly. So you're getting more in this mindset and realizing what an asset it is to be able to have my own language. Because now I can trust my intuition a whole lot more. I can perceive and peep things a whole lot better. I can guide myself and lead myself in a way that is sure. 333. So for the level, you're like, I don't need to. When I'm at my altar and I'm talking to them, like, well, y'all, I mean, this is what I meant. It's like, you ain't got to do that. You're not doing that no more. You ain't got to do that no more. You're not even over explaining what other people know. But this is what it's like. If people always say, if you feel like you do not understand, be okay to ask questions. I'm going to ask questions. So that way I understand. I'm talking to you to get an understanding, not to be right, not to give it, so I can understand. So when I'm asked questions, I'm curious to get to understand you, to get to know you, whether that's whatever it is. I'm curious. I always say curiosity is led by love sometimes, not all the times. But especially if you love somebody, you will be curious to ask questions, to get further information, further depth. And so I feel like even in those instances, you're answering questions because they ask you questions. When you answer it and you're realizing, I want to be able to answer it from the space, my mindset of knowing I don't need to change and flip my words, and I'm accidentally putting a spell on myself and ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba. I'm not Christian, but I still listen to Christian music. It's the frequency, my mindset, my energy. It's really know what I'm saying. And sometimes I switch up Jesus with Orishas or ancestors. I don't know how I'm fucking feeling that day. And so you're realizing with this first sentence being kind of this overall energy is my words have power, and only I know how to wield that power. Only I know when it's time to unsheath my sword, or when it's time to plant a flower, or when it's time to go running up the creek, whatever it is. For the love of all good and evil, as above, so below, as within, so without. I'm realizing these things. My words are a reflection on my life and how I see and understand things. You got a lot to do with dogs. Because when I first started, which is hilarious, that's the second line that's going to come in. There was a dog over there that was barking. It was just, that dog really barks. It just was over there. And now people are walking their dogs. They typically try to do it a little bit earlier than what it is now because it gets hot as fuck where I am, okay? But now we got the dogs, because it's two separate ladies, two separate households. At least 3 dogs that I'm looking at, yeah, because she has 2 and she has 1. And now they're all intermingling. And there goes Gina. She came in as I was channeling and settled in. So a lot to do with dogs. And you know dogs are vocal. They bark at you, big bark, bark, bark. It's like, what are you barking for? Whether they gonna bite or not, they will bark. And I feel like that's how you're moving now. And not in like I'm a bite or not, because you know, it's in the sense of like I'm gonna bark. You're gonna hear me. And so the next channel message I got was protection, loud, loyalty. It's like you speak knowing that your voice, your connection with source, all these things are protected. So I'm going to speak loud because the loyalty that I have to my own body, my own voice, my own that's a fucking dog. Your loyalty is to your voice, to your frequency, to your energy, to knowing yourself. It's like when people have those little phrases where they kind of like, I'm thinking of Naruto right now. If you know Naruto, where Naruto has these things that he just says, right? And he got it from his mom because his mom's like, when I'm nervous, I like, you know, like I say, like when they say things, they have like these things that kind of self-soothe, or when they're ready, they get loud and bold, or whatever it is. It's like, because I'm the best protection I can have from my voice is to always use it and know how I'm using it and when to use it, but never silence myself. That's loud loyalty to me, to my devotion to self. And then also helps you recognize when you hear your own voice. Is that my voice in my head? Is that somebody else's? Is that universe? Is that spirit? Is that just a random thought? Is that just a line from a show? You're going to know your own voice in your own head. It doesn't all sound the same. Trust. So you are realizing in between all, with all, okay? Because sometimes the hawk looks evil to the bunny. And sometimes the bunny looks evil to the farmer. But they're all eating and supplying themselves for the good. You see what I'm saying? So you're realizing I'm going to be loud. And right under that, they have me write insight. Like I said, you're okay with asking questions. You're okay with being wrong because you lead from a sense of understanding, a sense of insight, a sense of inner guidance, a sense of knowing. So with this protection, loud, loyalty that is loud, protection that is loud. And loud keeps coming up in your reading. Like they really, in this area, It's coming up like the more you see these shadow messages, okay, you can see, okay, it's coming in very loud, which is crazy. This is a silent reading, which is why I say you are very connected with spirit world. It's like they know, because sometimes you don't even got to use this voice. Your energy also has its own voice. Your aura has its own voice. And you just think some shit. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? I was just thinking about. So, yeah, and I feel like I'm getting this thing because yesterday I went to go buy something and I forgot my pen to both my cards. And I was like, damn, okay, fine. You know what? I'm just change the pen or whatever. Yada yada yada. And so I was like, damn, I just forgot my pen. And so the purchase wasn't going through. So I was just like, shit, I'm about to change that. And I wound up just like, okay, maybe let me try this. Let me try it different. And it wound up working. And so when I go up there, which is hilarious, I bought a blue Powerade for my job. Hilariously enough, so again, this throat chakra, which is coming up as well. I'm just being vocal. I was like, damn. And it was I think the sugar-free one or something because it had the white label. And so I was like, damn. I went back up there after I, figured everything out. I was like, damn, okay, let's try it. I was like, oh, somebody already paid for you, a mandate. I was like, I did. I was kind of holding up the line, even though each of them seemed to only have one or two items, hilariously enough. Same as me. And so it just was like, damn. Shit, I wasn't even expecting that. And I feel like because you're so vocal about everything, you know what you mean, you know what you're saying, you're speaking from a depth of truth and things, it's like Spirit is like, let me just put something in front of you and show you what happens. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's things like that, those everyday things. It doesn't have to be something big and grand to know that you're being heard. Even in something like, damn, I just really just wanted to drink and I'm trying to get it before I start work and this and that, this is taking a little while and I'm forgetting my pen, what the fuck, sometimes. So with that, it's coming in. The more that it's like, dang, it's just little small things. Just little small things. Realize this is everyday life. My communication with spirit. Because even that day in the morning, I was like, I'm just expecting something good. I always like to say I'm expecting something good. May I open my heart, my energy, just part of my morning meditation affirmations that I say, things of that sort. I always try to start that way. And so I feel like that's where your also loyalty comes from, is knowing that you're deserving. I didn't question it like, oh, why did I decide to pay for my drink? Like me, just and then. And I feel like that's a sign that people that you know and don't know will be loyal to you in ways that show that you have been loyal to yourself. It's just a side note on top of this, so trust and believe in that. The next channel message I got is, why did you choose this decision? And then they had in parentheses like decision, and then AL like decisional, thought. And then also in parentheses they put perplex. And so it's like, why did you choose this decision or decisional thought? This isn't your energy. It's crazy because right after the insight and asking questions, this is somebody else's energy. And you're like, why did they choose that decision? Or why did they make that decision or thought and decide to speak on that? And has you a little perplexed. And that's why I said you recognize your voice compared to other people's. To what they're thinking or whatever it is, you recognize it. So it's like, why did they decide to? Because I didn't think that. I didn't choose that. I enjoy doing my shadow work, baby, because I know I'm the light that leads myself to see the shadow. For the love of all good and evil, I can see in between. Sometimes to other people, I am that non-in-between or on the other side, no matter what it is. So why did you, and it's not in a way of accusing us, like, why did you choose that? Because you're trying to get to understand that person. Like, why did you come to that decision? Why did you come to that resolve? Why did you come to that thought? What was your path? And that's why I kind of asked you, like, I'm just a little perplexed. A little more, because perplexion leads you a little bit further. It's like, I'm so perplexed, I'm going to seek out answers. And I feel like you're really trying to seek out why somebody chose this decision or this path or even this thought, and then to speak it out or to act it out. And the fact that that's also in brackets is something like whatever it is, confirmation purpose, I'm about to say this, something or someone boxed you in with whatever decision they made or how they speak or think about you, and then has you perplexed why this person is thinking or speaking about you in this way or in this energy, because it's like so boxed. Like, look, you see, the AL is in parentheses, and this is in parentheses, and that's in parentheses. So it's like everything, and so that's why they are having you be as loud as like a dog barking, because some people don't think that you will bite. So you're like, for the love of all good and evil. I'm seeing those movies where people, it either has people in the middle or they're just on one side, where like somebody does something to someone and they're like, dang, they didn't have to push it that far. It wasn't that bad. It's like, let's just use an example. It's probably in many movies where somebody's getting bullied. I've seen these kids getting bullied. I'm going to just use that movie. These kids getting bullied. And they invite all the bulliers, all the popular kids or whatever, to a party out in the woods. And then they wind up allowing, I think, majority of the people to leave or something. I don't know, but they just started torturing their bullies on some real like torture shit. And it's one of those movies where it's like, well, why were they bullying them for years on end? Why did they feel such animosity, such vengeance, such energy? Of course they deserve it. Of course they probably deserve worse. Like, yeah, go ahead. Tell everybody the truth that you know. This person, that person really lied. And I'm gonna take your pinky and I'm gonna knock out your teeth. And they was like doing some torture set. And on the other side, it's like, yeah, they tortured them, but like, yeah, they bullied them, but it wasn't this bad to this extent. Like, they could have just, it's kind of remind me of Pretty Little Liars too. Like, dang, eh? Ari, we all knew it. She was so egotistical, it was crazy. Anyways. Anywho, now anyway, moving on. But it's in this energy of that. And then it says in between where it's like, I can see both sides. And so I feel like you, hilariously enough, that's why for the love of all good and evil, it's like people trying to put you in this energy of like, oh my God, like I understand, but why? Or I understand, but why would? It's like, And you also are leaving people perplexed. Because you try to understand the decisions that they make. And so me seeing that, it's almost like I said, it's like people perception is as far as it goes. And I feel like some people's perception of you is why they make certain decisions or thoughts about you, because that's as far as they can expand. And so they put on a cap on your expansion, on your thoughts. And so when you try to understand them, some people will allow it and like, yeah, answer. Some people are like, why you wanna? Because they don't want to know themselves. That's why I said, it says, why did you, that person? They gotta look at themselves, and they're not ready for that insight. And they're not ready to take in their good and evil, their mistakes, and also their contribution. They don't want to take all of themselves in. And so that perplexedness is not even your perplexedness, it's their perplexedness. I'm trying to understand somebody. They don't even, you get what I'm saying? That's why I said, you know your own voice. You understand your thoughts, you understand how you communicate with spirit and how spirit communicates with you. And so with this thought, I was just saying, don't think about it too much. Put them in that same box that they decide to leave themselves in. If they don't want to expand, it's not your job. It's not your opportunity to come in and no. Because some people sometimes, even like that, don't even listen to their own spirit team because they don't know their spirit team is talking. Because they ain't built their communication, or they second guessing it, or they like, I can't say the wrong thing. And so now they tiptoeing around themselves to not think. It's like kind of people like, you gotta always think positive and this and that, or there's not one way to do anything. And nothing new under the sun but how it's done and who it's done by. Now, like I said, there's a lot of vocal chakra, but blue is also clarity, cleansing, intuition. It's also very rare to actually see blue. Our eyes, the way that we're seeing blue is not even actually apparently true blue, which is why blue is associated with clarity, honesty, all these things. So we have blue, flame, and or light. Because when I was standing out there, and your candle's lit over here, so it wasn't that. And I just seen almost like a blue flicker, almost like it was dancing, almost like an orb. And I want you to remember, you don't always got to say pure white light. Sometimes you need a pure blue light to come in. Purple, red, pink, green, orange. Sometimes that white light ain't gonna get you what you need at that moment in time. Sometimes casting your net out a little too far and bring in shit that you also don't want. So with this coming in, Spirit is saying, get particular if you need to, because we listen to your voice. It is music to our ears. It is jubilation in our body. It is solar power in our back and our senses. So with this blue flame and or light, but I let it put blue flame and or light. It reminds me back home, you have certain lights. If you have a certain light outside your door, it means you're selling certain things. What are you calling in? And so Spirit is like, okay, right now you're calling in blue flame. So if you've been seeing a lot of blue kind of lately, or just light blues or just light colors, period, it's like, okay, you're calling in something a little bit lighter itself. Okay. Hilariously enough, I said loud is in here. We have loud, and then they have me put in parentheses again. Loud again, loud again. But it says loud does not mean you can't be soft-spoken. I'm hearing that Macy Gray line relating to a psychopath, hilariously. I love that song. Love some Macy Gray. Where she goes. What she say? She says, I fall back, so listen close when I mumble. It reminds me of the thing where people hear you. Because I'm seeing somebody like say something or a joke or something, and not everybody hears, but somebody else says it, but they say it louder. Somebody heard you. And I feel like you realize if my spirit team that ain't even on this physical realm can hear me and understand me, leading back to what we said in the beginning, I know my words have power to resonance. They work for me. I know how to wield it. And now I'm seeing Fluttershy. How she still speaks and people still listen when she's very soft-spoken. Because when it rings true, when it rings loud, it just rings. And so you're very much stepping into this. That's why I said I'm feeling like this right here. This entire time was just lit up. Loud does not mean you can't be soft-spoken. Loud does not mean that you have to be aggressive, overbearing, overthinking. Dogs just be barking the bark, like I said. But you know you can bite. So you don't have to do it. That's why it says loud again in parentheses. Because you're just loud, period. Your energy is loud. Your auric is loud. It says in your next general message, movement isn't necessary. In parentheses, a lot to do with parentheses. Like that inner bracket, that extension of the sentence, that extra context. Okay, like I said, you're getting a lot of information, that clarity, a lot of extra information, a little extra context, a little extra movement. It says if or when you know, it says movement isn't necessary in parentheses, if or when you know you're always moving. If or when is in parentheses, sorry. So movement isn't necessary. That's like, you don't need to do too much. I'm really getting it. Y'all don't really got to do too much. You don't. That's why I brought up this story with the where my car wasn't working. I'm like, dang, I just want this drink. You ain't gotta do too much. Just say what you need and swear it's there. Because I just said, shit, I forgot my pen a few times because I tried a few cars. And there was the man in line that paid for it. You don't need to do too much. People hear you. People notice you. People see you. And that's why you also want to see other people, but not everybody wants to be seen. And that's okay. And so what this movement isn't necessary. When you know, or if you know, you're always moving. Your cells are always moving. Your thoughts, your heart, your lungs, everything is always moving. Some things that need to be taught, like breathing. It just happens. It says, now this part had me fucking laughing because I don't even watch this shit, okay? I'm just be honest and honest. I don't watch. So I don't know how far I'm gonna get in this one, okay? But we got time to, a lot of the birds, I don't know if y'all see the next shadows, they coming in. We have time to stop Lex Luthor. Time to stop Lex Luthor. I know that's from, I almost said Spider-Man. Anything in the same universe? I feel like they would be. I feel like to have all them superheroes in the same universe and they not taking out the people that really need to be taken out. Yeah, they're ringing in my ears. Yeah. It's like it's crazy because isn't Lex Luthor like a billionaire? Isn't he with Batman? No, Batman is a billionaire. Anyways, like I said, I'm sorry. I think it's with Superman. But it's time to stop that person. I don't know what that's about. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I need to tell this in the cars. But the last thing I did get after Time to Stop Lex Luthor, and maybe significant to be switching up all of those superheroes because, like I was saying, just to have all those superheroes and it's like you're not getting to the root of the problem, you just get to your own pissing contest. Anyway. Under that, the final message I got was Peachtree Street or Avenue. And I know there's a lot of peach trees in Atlanta, so Atlanta can be significant. Actual peach trees can be significant as well. My nose is itches, so intuition, something about following the peaches. I don't know, because peaches have really big pits. And so I'm seeing like the really big pit in planting something. So wanting to move, being rooted in a more centered ground with you and your family. Peaches are very vibrant as well, very distinct taste, but they're fuzzy on the outside, but they're heavy. Going back to that, loud does not mean you can't be soft spoken. I feel like you guys are almost like a peach. Bless your boo boo. As he's sneezing. Again, something with your nose or intuition following it. But yeah, Peachtree Street Avenue. You could live on Peachtree or Peach Street, something. Those lines. That's just what I'm gathering. But let's get into the clarification on Time to Stop Lex Luthor because Honey Bunches of Oats, everything else came. Which, certain things I'm okay with not, unless I know that y'all spirit team, because baby, they know I don't know shit about that. That's all people. What you got? Yeah. Whew. Yeah, that should be that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love you. Sorry. I feel like the dude from Hey Arnold. That's kind of what this energy is giving. I'm not gonna lie. Remember I said somebody's always listening, and I just kind of, like I said, you don't need to do too much. Your protection is very loud. Your loyalty is where everything about you is just insight. Like between for the love of all things good and evil, like honey bunches of oats. Um, and again, this is about getting a little understanding on time to stop Lex Luthor, because everything else is kind of pretty clear to me. But I don't know where we want to start, Spirit. Start from the bottom up. Okay. This is from your spirit team. They love you unconditionally, care about you, and I am ready. This is from them. So I'm just like they're giving you a nice little this is their words pep talk before they get into it. But not only are you ready, but they're ready to go through this life with you. They love you unconditionally. No caps, no bounds, no. They're ready and you're ready. And you're realizing you can work with any and everything that you decide to choose to work with, because again, you wield the power. They said move out of their way as they work. Move out of their. Didn't he get cancer? Not like that for cancer. Dealing with that. But didn't he get sick? Lex Luthor like get real sick because he was trying to. Didn't he get sick because he held on to the is it plutonium? What the fuck am I saying? Whatever Superman is allergic to, essentially, he was holding on to it to keep himself protected, but it was really making him sick. And that's what's currently happening to people. People are holding on to things that they're trying to protect themselves against while they're still coming at you, but it's making them sick. It's fucking with their life, their energy, their body, their mind, everything. But they're trying to protect themselves against you coming towards them or at them in a type of way, because they're coming at you or thinking about you in a certain type of way. And so that's why your protection is easy. You ain't got to overthink or question or all these things with your spirit team. You can just say what you say. And I'm like, yeah, I know what I mean. I didn't, ooh. And then you ain't got to backtrack your thoughts, your mind, your frequency. You just are able to move. That's why it says movement isn't necessary when you know you're always moving. You know you're always in action. You know you're always going somewhere. That's why it's like, for the love of good, it's to somebody else. You were the rabbit. Or you were the fox. Or you get what I'm saying? Okay, so your spirit team is like, you are ready, we are ready, I'm ready. And so they put be okay. Hilarious enough, because you know a lot and they're telling you a lot. But it says, be okay with not knowing. I don't know. Spirit, teach and lead me. Like I said, you're very inquisitive, very insightful. That's why you're asking these people these questions. You're asking spirit questions. And you listen. It's like, I'm okay with not knowing. Because if I know what I don't know, I can get that knowledge while still relying on the knowledge that I do have and building off of that. So it's like, I don't know, Spirit, teach me and lead me. Because sometimes you could just be led and they doing it and you just got to follow in the steps in the snow. So it's like, be okay with not knowing. That's okay. Be okay with not knowing. I don't know if Superman didn't know for some time about something or whatever it is, or Lex Luthor didn't know Superman. I don't know. Again, I didn't watch it. I'm glad I got it. The spirit was like, that's who it is. That's what we're going with. But they love you. And that's why they want you to be okay and that you to always be ready for the future and prepared for that. Okay? They want you to be okay with that. Because honey bunches of oats. We have to get that leech off your back. They know your power, but for some reason you don't. And hilariously enough, as soon as I said that, she literally fucking stretched, got up, and shuffled herself. And that's Junior the dog. Like I said, a lot of dog energy. A lot of dog. You got some warrior, some dog in you that's ready to go, some wolves in you. What do they call them before? Even the wolves, the jackals, that type of energy that's ready to get vicious. That's why I said you bark and you bite, and they feel that and they're feeling that. So Spirit's like, get that leech off your back. Just get them off your back. All you gotta, even like I said, your words are so powerful. You can just be like, whatever leech is on my back, I mean, they dry up from their own consumption, whatever the fuck it is. But what they say, no, that's why I said you know how to wield your power. They know you got power, but they can't wield that shit. And you know that you have power, and you're wielding it, and you're using it. That's why you're like, why did you choose to make this decision or this decision or thought? Why did you come to that conclusion, that resolution? Why did you, not the decision, why did you come to that? And so a lot will pay attention. It's like I said, when people watch you, they watch you. It says, be mindful of dreams, perceptive of signs, listen to inner voice, and be ready for communication. Pay attention. Because like I said, the same way that you can be those things, so can other people. So I don't know why I think it's in Proverbs, one of my favorite books, but it's like one of the days babies will be able to play with poisonous snakes and not worry about being beaten. It's something of that sort. But until then, I think even in the verse it says, be mindful just to not play with poisonous snakes. So it's like, just because you hand, just be mindful, pay attention, be perceptive of the things. Because like I said, you know your voice. You know your energy, your frequency. You quite resonate with it a lot. You're in it a lot. It is you. So when you're feeling that, kind of be mindful of that. Because you have to be watchful of Pinocchios. It was still a fucking puppet. It just didn't have strings. People are still out here being puppets to their trauma, being puppets to societal standards, being puppets to misogyny, being puppets to rape, whatever it is. Be watchful of the Pinocchios. Because they're just fucking puppets without strings. That's why I needed an outside source like Jiminy Cricket, because it didn't have its own intuition, its own thoughts, consciousness, its own perceptions. It had to rely on other people, either the kids at the school or Jiminy Cricket or their dad. It couldn't even rely on themselves. And so that's why they want to be elite, just because they cannot rely on themselves. And the same thing, like Lex Luthor, let's try to hold on to protect themselves, it's going to drive them up and kill them. Because they cannot hold all that power. It reminds me of My Little Pony, when the changelings, they literally can change and they feed off of love. They can literally change and be anybody. All they got to do is see you when they got you, down to the voice, everything. But they feed off of love. And so they act in a way that isn't like the actual person that they're acting like. So one of the changes, just to make the story short and brief, but as long as it can be, one of the changes, never really wanted to be like that. They just wanted to experience love, be in a friendship where they're able to exchange love. And so one of the queens, set up a plan, kidnapped a whole bunch of people, and she was like, I'm going to take all your love since you want to, be a traitor. And, his friend was like, go ahead, give her all the love. Knocked her ass all the way back. What did your ancestors say? I love you unconditionally. They love you unconditionally. All that power, all that love, they never felt nothing like that. They never experienced nothing like that. So that's why it's like they use time. They never give them all the love. They can't experience that. It's going to drain them. It's going to kill them. It's going to hurt them. Okay? You have to get on the magic school bus, take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. Okay? You are so protected, you can do anything. And that's right under the pay attention. Pay attention. Get on the magic school bus. When you ask a question or say something, Miss Frizzle was always listening as well. She was like, why did you say that, Keisha? Your spirit team is always listening, always ready, always prepared, always on go, because you're as loud as you need to be, and they're as loud as they're going to be. Ashe. So get on there, take them chances. Yeah, it says, Time to get your protection up. I will feel my emotions and gather a deep understanding of them. Like I said, you want to know. You need to know things. And not in a way out of desperation, but out of a way of it being something that is just you. That it's just you. So get your protection up. Whatever way that means and however way you dress that or address that, get it up. Because Spirit is saying as soon as you get it up, they still not going to notice. Because I don't know if Lex Luthor realized, like, I'm getting sick. They're not going to notice. Like a Pinocchio, they're not going to notice because they're so outside. Even their goddamn consciousness have to be outside of themselves. I'm not making you to a real fucking boy. Grow the fuck up. So you're going to gather these emotions. And the reason why it says I will feel my emotions is because this is going to be emotional. And maybe somebody that you weren't expecting, or somebody that the Spirit has been telling you about that you haven't expected, whatever it is, but it is going to bring up some emotions for you. And so they want you to gather a deep understanding of them, not a holding on to them. Yeah? Get that leech off your back. Get your leech off your back. Okay? Anything else, Spirit? Yeah, lots to do with pictures. I'm here in Boulevard. A lot to do with streets and stuff. Separation. Turtles. I'm hearing Capricorns. Casper. Jovial and Javalanche. Do you mean Javelin? Is it Javelin? It's a Javelin. The thing with the sword and the fighting and the horse. I'm hearing they're not even on the field. They're not even in the game. They're not even reaping a harvest. They're just getting the scraps. And since they didn't have to work for the scraps that they get, they're seeing it as abundance and blessings. A dog will always feel like it ate a 5-course meal just because it's able to get the steak that fell on the floor off your plate. Yeah. Nobody trying to eat off you. You ain't got to do too much, honey. Well, that has been your reading, my darlings, my loves. You can book reading down below. You can donate down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so the channel can thrive and grow. But I love you. Love yourselves more. Until next time.